Thanks for watching WISD TV and welcome to the 5th Annual Greater Waco Community Education Summit. My name is Mary Center.
And I'm Dale Caffey. Since 2008, the Greater Waco Community Education Alliance has been organizing summits like this one to focus on the educational needs of every citizen in Waco and the surrounding area.
The mission of the Education Alliance is to develop an understanding that the entire community shares responsibility for educating every citizen.
Much more information about the Education Alliance can be found on the web at educatewaco.com. Right now, though, Mary and I are going to walk around and see what's making headlines at the 5th Annual Summit.
Joining me is Virginia Dupuy, who is the Executive Director of the Greater Waco Community Education Alliance. And Mrs. Dupuy, let's talk about this Education Alliance in retrospect. This is the 5th year that we're celebrating. Let's talk about the past 5 years and what you think we've accomplished.
Well, to begin with, this started as a very small idea with a couple of people, Robbie Stabenow and Harry Harlett, coming to me and saying, we need to work on education. Well, of course, being mayor, I wasn't quite certain what that would mean for the city to be doing that, but I thought, well, as mayor, I need to go ahead and listen. We had a number of meetings where I began to fully appreciate the significant resources we have in this community, pockets of excellence, wonderful work being done in school systems, in higher ed, in the just throughout the community. The community itself, a lot of things that the city was already doing, nonprofits. But what I discovered was that there was a great deal of, the operative word is probably pockets, that there were different groups living in pockets who really did not know about each other's work. This group began to grow to about 30, 35 people. And at a certain point, Chris Olson said, we've got to quit meeting like this and do something. And I said, well, okay, but I've got to have a plan. So that group laid out over the next, 10 meetings or so under Tom Stanton's leadership, facilitating it, came up with the goals that are still what we are working on. They're very, very simple goals, just engage the community in sending children to school, ready to learn, make certain that they graduate fully prepared and pursue their post-secondary success, that they keep on going in college and career. Then, of course, the other bookmark is use metrics. Well, the ironic thing is you have to go back in time and think, here are a few people that, well, how are we going to do this? We have these great goals, but you can't do that in 5 years, 10 years, how do you do that? And so planning team was formed, and then out of that, one of the first things we decided is to just have a summit. Pull the community together. We assigned stakeholder, when I say assigned, I invited, recruited stakeholder leaders in different, I should say stakeholder leaders in the sense of different groups in the community, the business community, the nonprofit community, the after-school network, all of these different groups that are working together, but not necessarily together in a holistic sense. And so we had our first summit that was essentially those groups putting out their plans, but listening carefully to the community, which is what we hope to be doing today again. This is our 5th summit. We committed to 5, but it's pretty clear the community is saying, no, don't stop at 5. You need to keep going, because we need to keep pulling ourselves together, understanding what our strengths are, look at how we can partner, how we can do more with either the same or maybe a little bit more, but have results that are much, much greater than what we could have done separately. So that's essentially what we're doing.
Well, it does sound a bit like a tiny little speck of snow that started with a little bit of momentum, and now it's created a great snowball that's turned into a big avalanche that we're here today to celebrate this 5th anniversary. Looking at today, you've lined up a great list of speakers and breakout sessions. Why don't you give us a quick overview of some of those speakers and some of the topics that you're covering today?
Okay. Well, last night we of course had Rick Noriega, who was wonderful. Rick Noriega is president and CEO of the Avance, which is a parent-child kind of mentoring program, but it's very, very effective throughout the community. But he spoke on that, telling us about what they're doing nationally. Then this morning we had the former Lieutenant Governor Bill Ratliff speak about the tragedy of school funding. There are huge issues involved in that, but with his background, in the Senate and then serving as Lieutenant Governor, he has worked in education, worked in finance forever, and he knows what he's doing, and speaks with great authority, but is able now to be kind of an independent voice since he's no longer in Austin, but he continues to study and help inform the communities where he comes to speak. He helped start Raise Your Hand Texas. Then we have about 17 different breakout sessions on 5 tracks: early childhood, K through 12, college and career, quality of life, those things that affect how children learn and out of the quality of life that they have, and then school funding. We have those tracks, and each of those we have breakout sessions that are going on right now, as a matter of fact, and it really is frustrating to me because I want to be in all 17 and can't do it. But at noon we have an exciting presentation that SpaceX is going to be presenting. Lauren Dreyer and Brandon Garrett are going to speak. They're going to bring their videos as well as their slides. You know that we've had another launch. They have now gone to the space shuttle 2 times. To me, this is so incredible. And there was one mistake in the program. We used the word McGregor was the launch site. Actually, it's not. It's Cape Canaveral, but we do all the testing here. And it's just amazing industry that we have right here in our community in McGregor, Texas.
It is interesting because we feel it in our homes when those rockets go up. Our homes rattle and shake. The best part about this being the 5th year is that we have a sense of history behind us. You've collected research and data, and now you've got a future ahead. Why don't you give us a brief snapshot of some of the data you might have collected and what you're looking into the future?
Well, for one thing, we have discovered, Ashley Allison did a report this morning that was wonderful on what we have already accomplished in this community. It kind of boils down to a couple of things. That is that we have invested considerably. A very conservative community that doesn't like to tax itself more has invested close to $450 million in the schools in this area, and counting sort of some bond elections the city did, you kind of have to put it all together, but it's been an incredible investment. This community has said education is important to us. We're going to invest in it. The other thing that in doing some research, she has learned that we have 10% higher than the state of Texas, a college-going rate. And we're all supposed to repeat that now because we have reason to be proud.
Let's repeat that now. Did you hear that? We have a 10% higher college-going rate than in McLennan County. That's true. Than the state of Texas.
Yes.
That's right. And we're supposed to get our pointing finger out when we do that. That's right.
Anyway, we have all kinds of reason to be proud. we've laid the right foundation for major collaboration in this community. We're going to be accomplishing the goals we've set out to do. Now, how that is going to play out in the next 5 years was your question. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I have absolute confidence that this community will figure it out. We have asked people for feedback. In these breakout sessions, they'll be giving us feedback. We're working with the board. They're going to be laying out a strategy, putting this all together so that we make certain that the foundation we have is going to absolutely help us accomplish what we need to in the next 5 years. We already know what the big cathedral, as they say, is going to look like. Just what do we do during the next 5 years?
That's right. And I know one issue where the city and the school district and the Education Alliance have put their money where their mouth is with poverty.
That's right. That's right. Mayor Malcolm Duncan and the city council have designated, I forget the exact amount, $450,000, something like this. I don't remember. That's per year. I don't know that all of it will go exactly toward the poverty, but a major portion of that money is going to be in implementing an initiative that will address the poverty, so that we're moving from poverty to prosperity, so that families have greater incomes. It's complex. It's part of a whole system, but we're going to figure it out. And I'm so grateful to the mayor for having provided that leadership to make that happen.
That's great. Now, this being November and it's the political season, I took it upon myself to do a few exit polls, if you will, and I asked a few people what they would want to know from Virginia Dupuy, because I knew I was going to be talking to you. And what they said was, or I asked what most people would want to know. And so what they said was, how can people get involved in this organization?
Okay, I think the first thing to do, of course, is go to these breakout sessions. That's important. Sign up. There's a list where you can put your name on the list with your email address. Of course, we have captured a lot of that through the registrations. But I think the beginning point is communication. There are so many jobs to be done that we will find ways. Those people who specifically want to help, if they will just let us know they want to help, we will find a way. There's more work than a few staff can possibly do.
That's right. Well, we want to reach out to those people at home in their easy chairs. How do they get in touch with your organization?
Okay, a couple of ways, but go online and enter Educate Waco, all one word, .com. That's the best way to get started. Of course, you can call, frankly, you can call me. My cell number is 254-722-5835, and I'll get you connected.
Well, that's great. I don't know if we should give that number out or not, you being the celebrity that you are, but it's been a real pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you for your time, your dedication to Waco and to the students of Waco. We appreciate it. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dale Caffey, who is going to talk to another distinguished guest. Dale.
Thank you very much, Mary. I'm pleased to be joined now by former Lieutenant Governor Bill Ratliff, who spoke at the summit this morning. And former Lieutenant Governor Ratliff, you spoke a lot about where the numbers as far as the educational budget was 5 to 7 years ago and where it is now. And those are very disconcerting numbers. Would you talk a little bit about what you tried to cite today?
Well, what I did was go back to 2009. In the 4 years since 2009, between enrollment growth and inflation, the appropriations for public education in Texas has been effectively reduced by 33%. That's a huge hit for public education. No institution, no business institution can survive with 33% less money today than 4 years ago. And the public schools are just under tremendous pressure to try to figure out how to make ends meet. What's happening is that they're laying off teachers, which requires larger classrooms, which means less effective education. The kids don't learn as much. Our quality of education is going down. They're going to be less effective in college. It is a snowball that is growing, and we have to arrest that decline in public education funding.
You also talked about priorities, and apparently legislators say that they try to govern by priorities, and yet you seem to disagree with that today, because one of the highest priorities that you found out that is in the state of Texas is education.
Well, the people on the street will tell you that the first priority of the state of Texas should be a quality education system. And yet, what happens is, if you reduce education funding to the extent that it's been reduced, class sizes have to go up. That's certainly not anybody's first priority. We had to eliminate full-day pre-kindergarten for kids that need that head start to get ready for school. They cut $200 million out of full-day pre-K as a austerity measure. So all of these things at least appear, we're not applying the priorities where they belong.
Have the priorities changed since you served?
I like to think so, because I had a part in writing 6 budgets. I feel like that we always, well, I will say, we always at least funded enrollment growth and some inflation. We never, in the 15 years that I served in the legislature, did we not fund enough money to take care of enrollment growth and inflation. Now we're not only are we not funding enrollment growth and inflation, we're not even coming close.
I know that there are some organizations in the state of Texas, Raise Your Hand Texas is one of those. You're well acquainted with that. We also have a local one called Texas Kids Can't Wait, and I believe you fielded a question about that organization this morning. Is it those type of organizations what it's going to take, or even more, to turn this tide?
It's going to take those organizations, but mainly it's going to take a huge grassroots upswell of what I referred to as the grizzly bear mamas. The mama grizzly bear is the one that protects the children. And some years ago, a group of mothers got together and decided that they were not going to continue to allow the drunken driving that was going on in Texas, and they created MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They changed the law. In about 2 or 3 years, they changed the law. And we have one of the strictest DWI laws in the country now because of that handful of women. If the grizzly bear mamas decide that they're going to change this funding, they're going to bring back adequate funding for public schools, they can do it. It's going to take the grassroots and an effort like that.
Well, sir, I want to thank you for your service to our state of Texas, a wonderful state of Texas in the past years, and for being here at Waco today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Very good. Now back to Mary, who has another very special guest. Mary?
Thanks, Dale. And I'm now joined by Superintendent Bonnie Cain. Dr. Cain, what are your thoughts on the summit from today?
Anytime you have this many community people coming together saying education is important to us as a community, what can we do to help? It just doesn't get any better than that.
Well, it's definitely been a great experience. We've heard from a number of wonderful speakers, a lot of breakout sessions. Talk about some of the things that you've taken from this experience.
Well, obviously, the Advanced Manufacturing Academy is one of my favorites because we're so proud of that. Also, Mr. Hudson and the group are talking about dropouts and making certain that everyone who leaves every school district is either workforce ready or college ready. But of course, probably the most I'm concerned about is the funding one by Ms. Leslie and Lieutenant Governor Ratliff, talking about how the total Texas funding structure is inequitable and is inadequate, and that everyone's frustration that maybe, and everybody's fear, perhaps that it's not going to change, and what are we going to do then?
It's pretty frustrating when you see Waco ISD at the bottom of the funding list. Hopefully things will get better.
Well, the irony is we're at the bottom of the list as far as target revenue, but we're at the top of the list in proportion of low socioeconomic students. So you think that the lion's share of the funding, if there is going to be a lion's share, would go with the most needy students rather with the students who don't have as many needs.
Well, now, in joining on that thought, This being the 5th year of the Education Summit, the good thing about that is there are some numbers and there is some data. I know you're a numbers person. We heard from Ashley Allison some important information.
that was fabulous.
I'm sure you liked hearing that. Talk about that.
Well, what it's showing is that what the Education Alliance is about is working. 5 years ago, a group of people came together and said, what can we do? And when you look at the data that Ms. Allison presented, it shows that it's working. We are making a difference. Things are getting better. Students are getting better educated. Parents are getting more involved, and we're well on our way. We're not there yet, but at least we know the path.
Well, and it's good to know we're on the right path. Now, for the future, you're taking a great leap forward in addressing poverty. Talk about your plans there.
Well, actually, so many things were already in place from the Poverty Solutions Committee, and but one piece that had not been there is who is going to be responsible for this? Because there's a lot of overlapping responsibilities, and sometimes the resources are not being used optimally because this group doesn't know what that group's doing. So we're going to organize with the Education Alliance and say we need an administrative officer who maximizes all of our dollars, maximizes our people's time, and gives us good direction. We're going to find someone who's done this before. And I think this time next year, this is what we'll be talking about.
That's great. We look forward to doing that as well. There's so many great things going on in Waco ISD. I know that we have a lot of students here performing.
Yes, we do.
So
yes.
I think maybe right now it'd be a good time to highlight the Waco High Show Choir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a fantastic show choir.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here. We
Thank
appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la la, fa la la, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la la, fa la la, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la la, fa la la, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la la la. La, la. See the blazing new before us, fa la, fa la, fa la, la, la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la la, fa la la, fa la, la, la. Follow me in merry measure, fa la la, fa la, fa la, la, la. Tell of Yuletide treasure, la 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 la, la la. That's the way the old year passes, la 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 la. Till the new year adds and blesses, la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together. In the soft of winter weather.
With Donna McKethan. She is the director of the College and Career Readiness Department at the Waco Independent School District. And there's excitement in the air today, Donna, because you get to talk about Waco ISD's newest venture, the Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy. I know that the newspaper has had some articles about this, but for people who don't know what it is, tell us what it is.
The Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy is an academy that is multi-school districts, and we have been working with our business partners and discovered that there are a lot of jobs out there in manufacturing, including welding and precision metal manufacturing. And those programs are very expensive for school districts to run. And so what we've done is come together as a community, as a partnership of businesses, school districts, colleges, to put together this academy. And students will come to the academy from all districts. We started out with the contiguous districts with Waco ISD, but it's even gone further. We've got students from Hillsborough that are actually interested in coming to the academy. It's far away. So we're telling them, if you can get here, then you're welcome to come. We started out with a goal of 100 students, and now we're at 150, and we may even go further if we have that much interest.
Okay, it's not started yet. It's going to start in the fall of 2013, correct?
Correct. It starts in the fall of 2013. Students will still be a part of their home campus. So if you're a China Springs student, you will graduate from China Springs. You would just come to us for the afternoon. In the afternoon, you'll take a science class, a math class, and then either a welding or precision metal manufacturing class. And I just said afternoon, but the exciting news that we'll be talking about today is that we're going to have 2 sessions. The students can come in the morning from 8 until 11:30, or they can come from 1 to 4:30. Because some schools have athletic programs or band programs in the morning, different times. So we've had a request from the school district that said, you know, can we do 2 sessions? And so we said, yes, we can do 2 sessions, and that's why we've increased our students.
And we are busy trying to prepare a facility for this. Talk a little bit about where it's going to be and how that facility is going to be shaped up.
Okay. The facility will be at the former Doris Miller facility on J.J. Fewellen. It has housed a couple of elementary schools in our building program, but now it's a building Dr. Cain and the board have agreed that that would be our facility. It has a standalone gym, and so we're currently beginning renovations of that gym to become our welding shop. The best part of this whole thing is the businesses who will employ these future welders and metal manufacturers, students, have come together to support the cost to renovate that building. We have Wallace Group has agreed to be our construction manager, and he is overseeing the whole project at no charge to the district. We're going to be talking tonight at the board meeting about another company who is stepping up to be the construction manager at risk and no charge. Lockridge Priest is going to do our electrical drawings. Capstone Mechanical is going to do some drawings for us. So it's all of these people coming together. It's almost created a life of its own because so many people are coming together. You've got businesses, we've got TSTC support. Elton Stugley has been amazing to help us get this on track. And then the school districts, Dr. Cains supporting with the superintendents. So it's just like growing. It's almost like this, I don't know, the Blob, the movie, just kind of grows and it's alive. And so it's really, really exciting.
We like that. And of course, you talked about the buy-in, especially from the business community, and that's a signal because they like what we're doing because we need more employees. We need more skilled manufacturers.
Yes. One of the things, our assignments, of course, working with this committee, we've been working about 1.5 years now to put this together. So our summer assignment for Marcus Walker, who's our career counselor, our assignment was to visit all of the companies. So we went to every one. There's about 15, 16 of them now. SpaceX is our new partner. We're going there next week. But anyway, we were to visit all of these companies. Every place we went, they had job openings. You know, we need your employees. We need your workers. And so it was a very exciting thing to do. Our homework for the summer was to visit. We visited and enjoyed every moment of it. Learned a lot more about what Waco's manufacturing community really needs. And so now we'll be able to better create this school to produce the kind of workers they need for the future.
You talked about the 2 trades that we're starting with, but that's only the beginning, is from what I understand.
That is only the beginning. The 2 next trades that we'll be working on are masonry with bricklaying and some construction. And then we're also looking at plumbing and pipe fitting, which is a form of welding. So that's an exciting thing. That will be in the fall of 2014. So we're just starting. And there's also talk of even some other types of groups of school districts coming together for different areas in career and technology because it is very expensive, and with budget cuts and with getting funding, it's much easier to come together and pool our resources to provide an outstanding program.
And of course, we're talking about the Greater Waco Manufacturing Academy, Advanced Manufacturing Academy. Got to get that. It's a mouthful. It involves Waco ISD, and of course the area districts as well. If parents are out there learning this for the first time or heard about this but want more information, what do they do?
I would direct you to go to the Waco ISD website and then click on the College and Career Readiness link, and then along the side you'll find the link for the Advanced Manufacturing Academy. You can look there. There's also a lot of news about this on our College and Career Readiness Facebook page, so you can contact there as well. So we've got lots of avenues. We'll be going out, we've actually trained all the counselors in the area, and we'll actually be going out and doing some recruiting at the other campuses as well.
Okay, Donna McKethan, exciting news. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure for us to share some of the highlights of the 5th Annual Education Summit. And as we hope you can see, although we face many challenges, there is a can-do spirit right here in the heart of Texas.
And if you would like to join the team, the Greater Waco Community Education Alliance would love to have you. Just go to educatewaco.com today. My name is Mary Center.
And I'm Dale Caffey, thanking you for watching WYSD and thanking you for supporting the Waco Independent School District, where there are learners today, leaders tomorrow.